Hey man, I do what I do.
Democrats speak with two tongues. See, they so-called allies. And I can't help but notice their concerns aren't about the humanity or rights of immigrant communities. No, their concerns are far more self-centered. They're worried about who's going to pick their fruit, who's going to clean their houses, and who's going to watch their kids. It's not about people being sent home and torn away from their lives here. It's about their inconvenience. It's about them. And I want you to think about that for a second. These are the same liberals who claim to champion diversity and equality and essentially mourning the loss of their cheap labor force. They're not talking about families being torn apart or children losing parents to deportation. No. What they're really saying is, who's going to be my servant? Now, doesn't that sound eerily familiar to you Black Americans? Because it reminds me of the South after the Civil War, when slavery was abolished and the Southern plantation owners were lamenting, they weren't lamenting the moral failure of the institution, they were lamenting the loss of their unpaid labor force. And here we go again. But it's a modern day, it's a modern day plantation politics disguised as progressive outrage. And they cry about crops rotting in the fields or businesses struggling to find workers, but they don't cry for people displaced by these policies, do they? And here's the kicker. The Democrats who claim to be champions of the marginalized are some of the biggest culprits. I've heard them say it's outright, who's going to pick the vegetables? That's their mindset. That's the mindset, brothers and sisters and everybody. Who's going to pick our vegetables? It's insulting to reduce an entire community to nothing more than laborers. And let me tell you something. I've employed folk from everywhere, and I don't dehumanize them. That's not appropriate. That's not how that works. You understand? That's not how you should see humanity, how they benefit you. And it's a bit distasteful to think about it like that. And I don't even think they realize it. And that's the true tragedy. Shout out to Johnny Harris, American Slave, a love story, right? You see? Now, when I look back, and I'm going to give you a little taste of history, and hopefully you guys will understand this. We want to try to connect some dots. It's funny how our Black Panther thinker types, those Black power and thinkers like Stokely Carmichael and Charles Hamilton, they warned us decades ago the risk of building coalitions with white allies, specifically the Democratic Party, right? And they predicted that these coalitions would end up weakening Black political power instead of strengthening it. And fast forward, here we are, and they called it. Then you've got the brilliance of someone like Derek Bell, who told us flat out racism isn't going anywhere. That's the same thing I told y'all earlier. It's permanent. You are not going to move people away from their strongly held beliefs, period. And that's okay. You can be as bigoted and racist as you want to. Okay, you don't have to like me. I don't have to like you. We have a job to get done. We got to sit in this foxhole together and point our rifles downrange because we have an enemy who wants to invade our country, or we have a war that we have to fight overseas. We don't have to like each other to do that. We have to stock this shelf together. And we got to get this done before our supervisor comes back. You don't have to like me. We have a job to do. But what I need you to, so when I say that, and that's okay. And I think a mature step for Americans, all Americans, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, whatever, we just have to accept the fact that some people are not going to like us and they can pick a reason, whether it be racism, bigotry, my religion, etc. It is what it is. It's permanent. Now, the thing about racism is it moves in cycles. There's progress, there's backlash, and then we repeat. Sound familiar? Look at what we're seeing right now. For years, we watched black and white liberals alike climb the social ladder and collect their awards and these cushy jobs and these accolades, and all the while dismissing or ignoring these very truths. And they acted like progress was a one-way street. But we know better. There was a time when universities and organizations were begging for black women to come to the podium, not to uplift the community as a whole, but to criticize black men and black empowerment. That was the trend. And now some of those same folks are clapping the Kimberly Crenshaw, right? Right? Those folks, right? They're happy she's finally waking up to the realities of racism. But let's be real. Where was this energy when it came to the black male victims of police violence? Where was the solidarity when some of these other atrocities have happened? Huh? Let's connect to something deeper. Remember what we learned from literature? When a group wants to destroy a population, first they target and always target the men and the boys. Why? Because they're seen as the protectors and the providers. They're the backbone of the community. We've seen this play out not just locally, but also globally. Look at the pattern of targeting black men. That was ignored and downplayed. They told us you'd work harder, stop resisting, study harder, pull yourselves up by your bootstrap. Remember that? And when you had a lot of black male scholars and male studies groups, they were saying, hey, you know, they tried to downplay that. And in truth, it was a lot of anti-male, or I would say misandric aggression. And that's what we're dealing with. And they expect us to just sit back and act like we don't see it. Here's the irony. All this backlash we're seeing now with these mass deportations, revoking DEI programs, and cutting initiatives that you know even hint at leveling the playing field for black folks and other minority groups or whatever. It's similar. It reminds me of a modern day Red Summer of the 1920s. Back then, you had white mobs, mostly men, destroyed prosperous black towns like Tulsa, Rosewood, for no reason other than jealousy and fear of progress. And now they're doing it with policies instead of pitchforks. But the intent is the same: it's to cripple any avenue of advancement for people that are non-white. That's what you're seeing happen to these immigrants, putting them in their place. Again, as I said, racism moves in cycles, and this is what's happening. Okay. Now, again, I'm gonna tell y'all this: the primary beneficiary of affirmative action has always and always will be white women. So the idea that they're trying to revoke these DEI policies, the emotional attachment is that it's putting these brown people in place, putting these black people in their place, but in reality, it's going to affect white women. And we have to call it like it is. That is just how delusional racism is. Now, you're entitled to hold on to your racist beliefs. At some point, you're going to realize you're stupid. But if not, oh well. Okay? But they act like these programs, they act like regarding these programs, the black folks are the problem. While the backlash might, it's going to sting, when they realize. Most black men have been living outside of the system for the past 50 years. We don't go to church, We don't go to university like that. We don't necessarily participate in the political system to a large degree. So how you gonna take something from us that we don't have? We have to learn, and we have learned to navigate around the system, marriage, church, politics, and even mainstream economics, just to survive. So this storm that's coming, we weathered it. We weathered worse. And what we did tonight was begin to break down what we saw and what we're seeing. It's a warning from the elders. The evidence is right here in front of us. So, buckle up, because it isn't just a history lesson. It's about understanding the game and playing so we can stop being pawns and start playing to win. This is DennisSpurling. I appreciate you all. Thank you all so much for your contributions. I truly appreciate you all. I hope you all appreciate this lesson. I try to be fair. I try to be understanding. I try to give you some knowledge. I try to give it some for all people to truly understand from a perspective that's open and honest. I don't really have anything to hold back from. You understand? I like doing what I'm doing. But either way, man, big shout out to everybody who contributed to the Super Chat, the Cash App, and the PayPal. Big shout out to everybody who came through tonight. I thank you all. I appreciate you all. And as I always say at this time, this is Uncle D, and I am Big Easy. Big shout out, man. We got 15 Super Chat. Y'all can take care of me in the comment section. If you like what I said, y'all can hit me up in the comments. We got 15 Super Chats. We did great. That's great. Thank you so much. This is Uncle D. I love you all. I mean it tremendous. Shout out to all the American folk out here, all whatever ethnicity you may be, man. I appreciate you entertaining this conversation. Thank you so much. God bless you. I love you. And I am DennisSpurling, got the mic on fire. Black father, I have black son. Tune in, weekly feeling inspired. From the heart, real talk ignite. Every episode brings the light. Subscribe, hit the like, won't you dare. Share the love, you know it's family. Join us every week, don't be late. Drop some coins in the collection plate. Drop some coins, enjoy the ride. Come say hi, catch the wave, don't pass by. Lifted spirits always inside. In this podcast, joy takes flight. Subscribe, hit the like, won't you dare. Share the love, you know it's fair. Join us every week, don't be late. Drop some coins in the collection plate. Drop some coins. Donation. I thought it was a class. Hey man, I'll do what I do. You know that. Your ass, class, don't come over here. You tall black mother. Women up inside. I don't give a fuck about